All right. Well, what do you say we begin our practice? Let's see. There we go. Why don't we begin our practice? I hope everyone is doing well in the new year. And I don't do New Year's resolutions, but one of the things I do at the turn of the year is to think of it sort of as a turning of the page. And I begin to give some thought to those things that I have carried with me into the new year that I perhaps don't need anymore for whatever reason, either emotions or thoughts or feelings, maybe old memories that I really don't need to drag around with me any longer. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's not all necessarily bad things. And so I view the new year as a place where I can sort of clear out the underbrush and make room for new experiences, new sensations, new feelings. And so I just want to pass that along to you and see if that might fit at all with your yoga practice. And if it does, then feel free to practice that sensation or that experience of letting go of what you don't need to make room for whatever new experiences we may find coming our way in the new year. Well, let's begin in a seated posture and legs crossed if you can. We'll just begin with our practice of gentle movement. Sit up nice and tall and then look to the left and then gently off to the right and again to the left and to the right. Back to center, lift the chin high. Hopefully you're remembering this practice now. Bring the chin gently towards the sternum, then lift the chin up and then bring it back down. Chin now nice and level, right ear towards right shoulder and a left ear towards left shoulder. And again, right ear towards right shoulder, hijack, and left ear towards left shoulder. Come back to center. Take a deep breath and let your spine lengthen. Now take a gentle twist to the right and to the left and to the right and to the left. Now come back to center. Reach the arms out with the palms facing up. Inhale, reach the arms high, and then exhale with the palms down. Bring the hands down, touch your fingers to the mat. Inhale, reach up, and exhale and down. Now take a big deep breath in as you reach up overhead, and then exhale and bring the hands down. And then from there, reach the arms out in front of you with the palms facing up. Bend the elbows, touch the top of your shoulders with your fingertips, and then straighten the arms. Do that a second time. We'll just do it twice. And then straighten the arm. Now, gentle fists as you rotate the hands at the wrists. Go around 2 or 3 times one direction. Then when you're ready, back the other way. And now just move the fingers and the thumbs, whatever way feels good to you. And maybe you want to rotate the arms now like I'm doing, kind of bicycling the hands, and then maybe back the other direction, just to open up all those joints in the upper body, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, and the fingers. And then release that. And facing towards the front of your mat, come down to your elbows, and with the left knee, bring the left knee in so the left knee is pointing straight up, and then straighten that left leg. And then let the foot drop down and then straighten it again and let it drop down. Now bring the knee off to the right across the body and then away from you, straightening the leg and off to the left. And you know what to do. We'll just make circles with the knee around about 3 times, just one direction. Now you can straighten the leg again and rotate the foot at the ankle around a couple of times is probably all that you need this late in the day. And bring the left foot down. Now bend the right knee and straighten the leg and bend and straighten and bend and straighten and then bend. Now bring that knee over across the body and to the left and then straighten the leg. Knee is reaching towards the front of your mat and then off to the right and towards your chest. And big circles with the knee, about 3 times around. and then bring it back to center and straighten the leg and rotate the foot at the ankle. Nice. Now bring the foot down and then come to a kneeling position. So I'm going to sit on my heels like that, and I'll turn to face you now. But see if you can sit on your heels, and then take a deep breath in. We're going to begin some dynamic stretching. Start by letting the right ear move towards the right shoulder. Now feel a stretch on the left side of the neck. Keep your chin nice and level. And then bring the chin towards the chest. We're going to make neck circles now on left ear towards the left shoulder, then lift your chin up. Go around nice and slow at your own pace. A couple times around one way, and then maybe a couple times back the other. Just starting to feel a little bit of stretching, a little dynamic stretching in the neck. Also the top of the back and the side of the neck. Then come back to center. Take your twist to the left. See if you can bring your left hand to the outside of the right foot so that you can really twist to the left and look over that left shoulder. Hold it just for a moment and then come back and go to the other side, over to the right and back to center and over to the left and back to center and to the right. One more time on each side, to the left and back to center and to the right, and then bring it back to center. And then once you're there, bring the right hand down, reach the left hand up and over. See if you can keep that left sitting bone pressing down into your left heel. Now stretch, feel that big stretch along the whole left side body, and then inhale, engage the core as you come up. And then bring your left hand down, press it into the mat, reach the right hand up and over, and feel that stretch on the right side of the body. Make sure you're pressing your right sitting bone down, and inhale, rise back up. One more time on each side, reaching and rising with the core engaged, and left hand down, reaching with the right hand, and then inhale and rise all the way back up. Now facing the front of your mat, just keep your hands on the kind of the top of your knees or the bottom part of your thighs, and then bring your chin to your chest, round your spine. I feel that stretch in my low back. On an inhale, rise up. Now bring your hands behind you, press them into the mat if you can, and then inhale, lift the chin and lift the chest into a back bend. Pause there for a moment, and then round forward, and inhale and rise, and round backward. Let's do that twice more. Rounding forward, and inhale, and rounding back. And that's it. Come back to a neutral spine, and then bring your hands down. You want to do some yoga, Jack? Into table pose. Once you're in table pose, drop your belly and lift your chin, finding cow pose. And then press the hands into the mat as you move towards cat pose, exhaling. Now inhale to cow, and a big exhale to cat. And one more time, inhale to cow, and then exhale to cat. Press the hands into the mat a little bit more. Press the middle of the back up towards the sky so you get a nice stretch along the whole back, and then come back to a neutral spine. Now leave the right hand on the mat. Lift the left hand up, but keep your gaze down so you're looking at your right hand. And then bring the left hand under the body. Tap the right shoulder with the left hand, and then press into that right hand and reach back up with the left hand. Do that again, second time on this side. Press into the hand, the right hand, reach up through the left hand. And this is the last one. Under the body, tap the shoulder, reach back up. Gaze is still down at that right hand. Now bring the right hand down, the left hand down, press it into the mat, and reach the right hand up. Your gaze is still down at the left hand. Now under the body with the right hand, tap the left shoulder, press into the left hand and reach back up. Second time, under the body and reach back high. And one more time, under the body and reach back high, and then bring the right hand down so that it meets the left hand. And we've come back to table pose. Press the hips to the right, and then slowly move them off to the left. Now, big deep inhale as you press the hips to the right, and an exhale as you press the hips to the left. Do it one more time, pressing the hips to the right on an inhale, and now exhale, press the hips to the left. Now bring your hips back to center. Walk the hands forward a little bit. About 4 inches probably should work. We're going to make some hip circles now. Press the hips to the right and then bring the hips forward so your chest is over your hands. There's weight in the hands. And then press the hips to the left and back and move towards child's pose, but don't go all the way to child's pose. And then bring the hips over to the right and forward and to the left. Now come back to center and then go the other direction for the remaining two. 2 more circles around in this counterclockwise direction. And 1 more. And then back to center. Now bring the hands back so that they're under the shoulders, and then press the hips back to the heels. Let your forehead come down to the mat. Feel a little length in the spine, and then glide the hips forward and down into our knees down, upward dog, and then press back towards child's pose. And again, glide the hips forward and down. Lift the chin, press the chest forward, and then press back towards child's pose. This is the last one. Gliding the hips forward and down. Press the heart forward. This time, pick your knees up off the mat into upward facing dog. And then when you're ready, tuck your toes and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Press the heels down towards the mat for a moment. Now bend the left knee, press the right heel down towards the mat, and then bend the left knee, straighten the right leg. Bend the right knee, straighten the left leg, and just keep pedaling from side to side that way. But I'd like to invite you to go really slow. So there's no need to rush. You can even bring the feet a little bit farther apart if you want to notice how that changes the way the pedaling feels, the way this movement feels. Keep it going about 3 more times on each side. And a couple more. And 1 more time. Now come back to stillness in downward dog. Press the heels down towards the mat. Remember to lengthen your spine, reaching your hands into the mat. And now slowly walk your feet forward. And eventually come to a standing forward fold. Uttanasana is the name of the pose in Sanskrit. Let your head get heavy and drop down. Bend the knees if this creates too much sensation in the back of the legs or the glutes. Now press into the front of the feet. Keep your chin on your chest and draw your navel in as you come up. And once you're all the way up, let your arms float high and exhale and bring the hands to heart center. Take a breath. And let the breath go. Do that again. Deep breath in. Feel the lungs fill with air and exhale and let the breath go. On an inhale, reach the arms up and back. Keep the palms together, back bend. Now exhale, fold forward. Come to a half lift with the hands either on the mat or you can bring them to the shins, the very top of the shins, right below the knees. Our object here is to lengthen the spine and to bring the weight forward into the front of the feet a little bit. Now, as you exhale, let your head drop down and get heavy. The knees can bend if you want. Now press into the front of the feet and rise. Reach up high. And then bring the palms together. Interlace the fingers. Point the index fingers into Arrow Mudra. Stretch up high and then take a little stretch to the right. And then back the other way and to the left. Press the hips now to the right. Back to center and stretch. And back to center and over to the left side. Back to center, reach up high, and then bring the hands to heart center. Let's go through that flow again. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, fold forward, nice and slow. Inhale, half lift. Emphasis here on smooth movement. Exhale, fold forward. Let your head drop down towards your mat, towards your big toes. Now slowly rise and reach up high. Bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, take a bend to the right and back to center and a bend to the left. Press the hips to the right and back to center, bend to the right, back to center and bend to the left. Bring it back to center, reach up high and then release your hands, bring them back to heart center. Now again, inhale up and back, nice and slow. Exhale, fold forward. Smooth movement is what we're working towards here. Inhale, half lift.
As you exhale, let your head drop down. Now press into the front of the feet and rise. You'll feel the core engage as you come up. Now exhale and just release the hands to heart center. Bring the arms out to a 45-degree angle with the palms facing forward. Now wrap the left elbow under the right elbow into eagle arms, palms together. On an inhale, lift the elbows. And as you exhale, fold forward. The head's going to drop down. The elbows come probably between the knees for most of us. Now press into the front of the feet and rise. And lift the elbows and the chin. And exhale and bring it all down. Press into the front of the feet again and rise and reach up high with the elbows. Lift your chin. And then as you exhale, release, level the chin and bring the hands to heart center. Let's do that again on the other side. Inhale, reach up and out to a 45-degree angle. This time wrap the right elbow under the left. Palms come together. Palms touch if you can. Inhale, lift the elbows and the chin, back bend. Exhale, fold forward. The head drops down. Press into the front of the feet and rise. Lift the elbows high. And exhale and bring the elbows down. Inhale and rise. Lift the elbows high. And then release the arms, level the chin. And exhale the hands to heart center. Let your eyes close down now and bring your awareness to the feet. Feel the sensation of the feet resting on your mat. 3 more breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. 2 more breaths. Feel the breath flowing smoothly too. And 1 more. Now bring the arms out to a T with the palms facing down. Hinge at the hips and come halfway down only. Now bend your right knee, bring your right hand to the mat. Reach the left hand high. Keep the spine long. Keep reaching your tailbone towards the back of your mat. The head is reaching towards the front of the room. Now the other side. Left knee bends, right leg straightens, left hand comes down, reach the right hand high. Spine again stays nice and long. And now we're just going to flow from side to side. Right hand comes down, right knee bends, left leg is straight. And to the other side, left hand down, left knee bends. Bend the left knee a little bit more. And then other side, right hand down, right knee bent. And last one, left knee down, right hand reaches high. And now straighten both legs. Bring both hands down. Let your head drop down. Feel that nice stretch in the back of the legs. Maybe let your head drop down a little bit more. Now bend the knees. Bring your hands behind you and come to a seat with the legs out in front. And then bend the left knee. Bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh and scoot over to the right side of the mat. Now reach the arms up and overhead. If you can, well, let's not do that now. We'll do it in a minute. Now hinge at the hips and fold forward. Spine stays nice and long. Then press into the heel of that right foot and rise back up. Do that a second time. Reaching forward and inhale and rising back up. And last one, inhale, reach forward, inhale, rise back up. Now arms come out to a T. Take a twist to the left and press the left hand into the mat right behind you. And then press into the left knee and the right foot and lift the hips. Let your head and your right hand drop down. You can even bend that left elbow a little if you want. And then as you exhale, come down. Once your tailbone lands, square your body to the extended leg. Now you can interlace the fingers and point the index fingers if you want. Another option is to interlace the fingers and invert the palms. Now hinge at the hips and fold forward. Can you bring your hands in front of that right foot? Press into the right foot and rise. And exhale and bring it down. And inhale and up. Last one. Press into the heel and come back up, and then release the hands and bring them down. Good work. Let's go over to the other side. So scoot over to the left side of the mat and straighten your left leg. Bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Remember to square your shoulders to that extended left leg. Reach up high, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale and rise. And one more time. And inhale, come back up. And then arms come out to a T. Take your twist to the right this time and plant that right hand behind you. It's about, 18 inches or so for me. And then press into the right knee, the left heel, lift the hips, and then reach with the left hand. You can start by reaching the left hand up. And then if you want, press the hips even higher, reach the left hand back, let your head drop down. Lift the hips a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, Jack wonders, what in the world are you doing? Bring the hips down to the mat. Square your shoulders to the extended left leg. Reach up high. Now, as you exhale, bring the hands together. And if you want, you can invert the palms like I did on the other side. Hinge at the hips and fold forward. Can you bring your hands in front of that foot so that the hands are at the sole of the foot? Now, inhale and rise back up. And exhale twice more. Inhale and rise. We've got one more. And inhale, rise back up. And then release your hands and bring them down by your side. Now come to a standing posture. Facing the front of your mat. And we're going to begin a balancing series here. And what I'd like for you to do is begin with your hands at heart center. And just let your eyes close down and find 3 breaths now. Feel grounded. Take the opportunity with this breath or with these breaths to begin to feel grounded in this standing pose. Tadasana is the name of the pose, mountain pose. Sturdy and grounded. You can open your eyes now, and now transfer the weight to the right foot, and then pick the left foot up, bending the left knee. Keep pressing the hands together. Now straighten the left leg. Press the left foot forward, and then let that left knee bend so the foot drops down. Now tree pose. Bring the knee out to the left. Keep pressing the palms together. Whoa. Now from tree pose, move into standing figure 4. So bring the ankle of that left leg to the right knee. Press the palms together and bend the right knee. And come down as far as you're able to. Now bring the arms out to a T with the palms facing down. Reach the hands apart from one another. And then release the left foot and press the left foot back into airplane pose. This is Warrior 3, the airplane variation. Now half moon pose. Bring the right hand down about a little more than a foot in front of the right foot and out to the side a bit. And then reach the left hand up and overhead and open the hips to the left. Press the left foot back. Reach your head forward towards the front of your space. And then bring the left hand down to the mat. And standing splits. Let your head drop down. Reach the left leg high. And then as you exhale, step that left foot all the way back into runner's lunge. Press back on the left heel now until you feel a stretch in the back of that left leg, particularly in that calf. And then bring the left knee to the mat and reach the arms up and overhead into a low crescent lunge. Press that right knee forward. And now I'd like you to bring the hands down to the knee and press that right knee forward even more. And bring your gaze forward so you're looking towards the front of your space. Press your hips forward and down. Hopefully you'll begin to feel a stretch at the top of the left leg. And then release from that. Bring the hands down on either side of the right foot. And step the right knee back so it meets the left knee into table pose. Now cow pose. Drop your belly. And on your exhale, cat pose. Do that again. Inhale to cow. And a big exhale into cat. And one more time. Inhale to cow pose. And exhale to cat. And then come back to a neutral spine. Once you're there, tuck your toes and let your hips rise into downward facing dog. Press the heels down towards the mat. If it feels good, feel free to pedal it out a little bit. We'll be here about 2 more breaths. Keep it going. 1 more breath. Now we're going to move from here to a standing forward fold. So either bend the knees and hop, or you can walk forward. Now chin on chest, round your spine as you come up. Arms float high, and then to heart center. Let the eyes close down again and breathe. Just 2 breaths now. But take the opportunity, as we did a few moments ago, to feel the feet grounded, weight evenly distributed between both feet. Now let your eyes open. And let's go through our balancing sequence on the other side. Transfer the weight to the left foot, pick the right foot up, bending that right knee. You can pick that right knee up a little higher if you want, and then straighten the right leg. Press the right foot forward, and then bend the knee so the foot drops down, and find your tree pose on this side. Now standing figure 4, release the foot and bring the right ankle to the left knee, join the palms, and bend that left knee. This is a challenge for me today, apparently. When you're ready, bring the arms out to a T, and then release that right foot back into our Warrior 3 airplane variation. Reach the hands apart from one another. Press the foot back, that right foot, reach your head forward. And now half moon pose. Bring the left hand down in front of that left foot and out to the side, and then reach the right hand up. Keep the weight distributed evenly on that left foot. Half moon pose, opening the hips to the side. Now bring that right hand down. Standing splits. Let your head drop down. Lift that right leg high. And then as you exhale, bend the left knee, step way back with that right foot into a runner's lunge. Press back on the right heel until you begin to feel a stretch in the calf on that right leg. Now bring the right knee to the mat and rise to a low crescent lunge. Reach up high. Bring the hands down to the knee, that left knee. Press the knee forward, press your chest forward. Lift your chin a little so that your gaze is directly forward, not down or up. And then let it go. Bring the hands down and step the left knee back into table pose. Now cow pose, belly drops, chin lifts. Exhale to cat. Twice more, inhaling to cow. And exhaling to cat. And one more time, inhaling to cow pose. And exhaling to cat. Come back now to a neutral spine, and then tuck your toes and let your hips rise into downward facing dog. Lengthen the spine in downward dog, pressing the hands into the mat, reaching your tailbone as far towards the top of the back wall as you can. 3 more breaths in downward facing dog. Keep it going. 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Now on an inhale, reach your left leg high, point the toes, press the hands into the mat, and see if you can lift that left leg up even a little bit higher. Now step the left foot forward, bringing it between the hands, and then spin your right heel to the mat and rise into Warrior 2. So left foot is forward, left knee is bent, right leg is straight. Now drop the right hand down, reach the left hand up and over into a reverse warrior pose. Keep pressing that left knee forward so that you're feeling a nice stretch, feeling a lot of challenge in the quadricep muscles on that left leg. And then as you exhale, come to extended side angle. And then rise to Warrior 2. Straighten the left leg, reach up and back into reverse triangle. And then the arms come out to a T.
into triangle pose, left hand down, right hand reaching high. Let your spine lengthen. One more breath. Left knee bends now. Rise to warrior two. And bring the hands down on either side of the left foot. Come up onto the ball of your right foot. Left foot steps back now to plank pose. Take a breath in plank. Then as you exhale, flow through a vinyasa. Come to upward facing dog. Knees off the mat if you can. The arms are straight. The hands are pressing into the mat. The shoulders are pretty much right over the hands. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog. On an inhale, reach the right leg high. Point the toes. And see if you can lift that right leg even a little higher. Then as you exhale, step that right foot forward, bringing it between the hands. Now spin the left heel to the mat and rise to warrior two. This is our second side with warrior two. Now left hand drops down, right hand reaches up and over into a reverse warrior pose. Keep pressing that right knee forward. Now extended side angle pose. Press the pinky toe of the left foot into the mat for me. Reach with the left hand. Rise, reverse triangle pose. Right leg straightens, left hand comes down. Reach up and back with the right hand. Press into that right foot. Now bring the arms to a T. And then triangle pose. Right hand reaches forward. Left hand is high. Pay attention to the alignment of the upper body. Left hand over left shoulder over right shoulder over right hand. Now bend the right knee and rise to warrior two. And then bring your hands down on either side of that right foot. And flow through a vinyasa, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, upward facing dog. Press the heart forward. Press the navel forward. See if you can deepen that back bend a little bit. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog. Now on an inhale, reach the left leg up and find three-legged dog, opening your hips to the left, pressing the right heel to the mat, pressing both hands into the mat, and open the hips a little bit more if you can. So you're really working at stacking the left hip over the right hip. Now level your hips off, pause for a moment, and then pigeon pose. Bring the left knee forward, left knee comes to left hand, left foot towards the right hand. Maybe scoot that right knee back a little bit as you let your hips settle down to the mat. Take a couple of breaths now in pigeon pose. Letting your head rise up, letting your body move more deeply into this static stretch, this static back bend. Notice where you're feeling sensation. And then let it go. Come all the way down into a resting pigeon pose, bringing the elbows down, letting your forehead come down towards the mat. For some of you, you may be able to bring your forehead all the way to the mat. Maybe your chest rests on that left shin. 2 more breaths. Feel the sensation in the static stretch. 1 more breath. Now slowly begin to walk your hands back towards your body. And then tuck the toes and bring your right knee off the mat. Now press the hands into the mat and then lift the left leg all the way up and overhead into our second three-legged dog on this side. Open it up, open the hip, stacking the left hip over the right hip. And then level the hips and bring the left foot down into downward dog. Now lengthen the spine in downward dog. And then glide forward to plank pose, pause in plank, and then lift your hips into downward dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. Go as slow as you can, almost moving in slow motion. Feel the muscular engagement in the core as you do it. And 1 more time, lifting the hips, and then gliding forward slowly
to plank pose. Now lift the hips back to downward dog. And we're going to go through that flow again on the other side. So keep the left foot on the mat and reach your right foot high. Now bend that right knee and open the hips to the right side into three-legged dog. Level the hips off and find pigeon pose, bringing the right knee forward to the hand and right foot towards the left hand. Maybe scoot that left knee back a little bit. You can lift your upper body up a little bit more if you want to deepen the back bend and let your hips drop down. If this is too much for you, remember you can always use a prop to support the right leg or the right butt on this side of the pose. Find another breath and then let it go. Release it all the way down into a resting pigeon pose. Forehead comes to the mat if you can. Breathe. One more breath. Awesome. Walk the hands back towards your body now. As you come out of pigeon pose, tuck the toes and bring your left knee off the mat. Press hands into the mat and reach that right leg up and overhead into our three-legged dog. Second time on this side. See if we can open the hips a little bit more, keeping the shoulders squared to the front of your mat. And then level the hips. And bring the right foot down into downward facing dog. Now glide forward to plank. And then slowly lift the hips into downward dog. Twice more, gliding forward into plank pose. Nice and slow, beautiful, controlled, smooth movement. And then lifting into downward dog. And let's do it one more time. Gliding into plank pose. You're moving so beautifully. And then lift your hips into downward facing dog. Now bring the knees to the mat, bring the knees wide, big toes touch. Let's find child's pose. Press your hips back to your heels. Let your forehead come down towards the mat. Keep walking the hands forward. And let your sitting bones rest on your heels if you can. And we're going to find 5 breaths in this deep, deep static stretch. Wonderful pose for stretching out the hips, as well as some of the other muscles in the legs. 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Now rise up and then come to a seat. And then once you're seated, lay all the way down on your back. Jack, nobody's going to be able to see me with you there. And once you're on your back, lift your legs up into legs up the wall pose. Press your tailbone down and reach up through the soles of the feet. Now we're going to do something I don't know that we've ever done before. So we'll see how it goes. Bring your arms out to a T with the palms facing down. And then relax the back of the shoulders. And now what I'd like for you to do is to bring your feet apart into a wide-legged stance and press through the heels. Notice where you're feeling sensation in the pose. Now try and keep the heels kind of in line with your sitting bones. And now bring that left foot very slowly down towards the floor of the mat, and the right foot will lift up. And once that left foot lands, open up your stance a little bit more. So find a little bit wider, wide-legged pose. And then we're going to go over to the other side. So pick that left foot up and slowly bring the right foot all the way down. Once it lands, see if you can open up the left foot a little bit more, bringing that left foot back to the left while keeping the right foot on the mat. Now inhale and rise. We're going to do that same thing One more time on each side. Bring the left foot down. Widen the pose, widen your legs a little bit. And then slowly pick that left foot up. And the right foot comes down. Once the right foot lands, see if we can open that left foot a little bit more. Open the left leg off to the left a bit. And then lift it back up. Well, I'm really feeling that in the inside of my legs and in my hips. Slowly bring both feet back up overhead into legs up the wall pose. And then as you exhale, bend your knees and keep the feet off the mat. Bring the arms out to a T. And then bring the left knee over, or actually both knees over to the left side. Just a gentle supine twist. Look off to the right. Now bring your left hand to the outside of the right knee and press down. And that'll lift that right hip up a little bit more. Now see if you can soften your left shoulder a little bit. 2 more breaths in the pose. And 1 more. Release the left hand from the knee, then let the knees come back to center. We're just going to go right over to the other side. So let your knees drop to the right. And then bring the right hand to the outside of that top knee and press that knee down. And look off to the opposite side. Off to your left. Now see if you can relax that left shoulder a little bit. And the shoulder blade even, so that it conforms to the mat a bit. And that'll deepen your twist. One more breath. You release the hand now. Bring the knees back to center. Somebody wants to play ball. We're not going to be doing that. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Sorry for the interruption. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat and prepare for bridge pose. Now press the feet into the mat and lift your hips. Bring your shoulder blades a little bit closer together on the back. Some of you may be able to walk your feet back towards your hands and get a hold of the ankles with the hands. If you do that, you can actually press your hips even a little bit higher, bringing the shoulder blades more closely together on the back. 2 more breaths wherever you are in your bridge pose. And 1 more. And now release. Once the tailbone lands, hug the knees in towards your chest. And then keep the hands on the top of the knees, kind of on the kneecaps. Keep the knees together if you can, and bring the knees off to the right side and then forward so your arms straighten, and then off to the left, and then towards your chest. And go around a couple of times each direction. Just working out any last kinks in those hip joints. And then when you're done, reach your heels up to the sky, legs up the wall pose. Relax the back of your shoulders and relax the shoulder blades. You can remain here, or if you want, plow pose, bringing the toes up and overhead, maybe touching them down on the floor behind you. And then everyone back to legs up the wall pose. Now point your toes and slowly bring yourself into a seated forward fold, hinging at the hips, letting your head drop down. Now, chin on chest, the spine rounds as you rise. Remember to draw the navel in as you come up. And then as you exhale, lift the legs up into legs up the wall pose. And again, plow pose if you were there before, or if you want to try it for the first time now. And then release from plow pose. Point your toes and let your legs come all the way down to the mat. And once we're there, let's find Shavasana. We'll have about 2 minutes for Shavasana. Let your eyes close. Let your awareness come to your breath. And begin to feel your breath flowing in and out. Once you feel like you really are centered in your breath, then let your awareness move to your heartbeat. Remember, your heartbeat may be detected in somewhere other than your chest cavity. You may feel your heart beating in your mouth, your nasal cavities, your fingertips, even your hips or your toes. See if you can begin to detect the heartbeat. It can be really subtle sometimes. Then just let your attention settle into the heartbeat. If you like, bend your knees and roll to your side. And once you're on your side with your eyes still closed, bring yourself to a seat. And once you find yourself seated, bring your hands to heart center. Now draw a deep breath in. Feel your spine lengthen as you continue breathing in. And then just let the breath gently flow out. And one more time, a deep breath in. And then let it all go. Join me now in offering loving kindness. May you be happy and well and safe. And may you be peaceful and at ease in this new year. Namaste.